Hi guys and girls, here is the beginning to our unit on modifiers. So modifiers change the sentence. They upgrade a sentence and make it better by adding different words that help to describe the sentence more and again to just upgrade it and make it better and more descriptive and a more interesting sentence to read. Okay, we're going to begin by talking about adjectives. Adjectives are one type of modifier. An adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. Adjectives add further meaning or details to the nouns that they describe. An adjective most often comes before a noun or after a linking verb. Here are some examples. Sour flavors pucker lips. Our noun in this sentence is flavors. The flavors can pucker lips. What kind of flavors? Sour flavors. The word sour helps to describe or define the word flavors, their noun, even more, so that we have a better picture of exactly what kind of flavors we're talking about. Let's take a look at the next one. Lemons are sour. Lemons are noun, are our linking verb, sour our adjective. Okay? In this sentence, our adjective comes after our linking verb. Unlike this sentence where our adjective came directly before our noun. So those are just two ways that adjectives can be used in sentences. Either right directly before the noun that they're modifying or describing, or after a linking verb like is or are. Okay? All right, so let's dive in and start to take a look a little bit more at adjectives. Okay, so let's take a look at part A. Part A says, see how an adjective adds to the meaning of a noun. Now let's think about that for a second. An adjective adds to the meaning. If you're adding to the meaning of something, you're describing it more. You're making it more plain, and you're making it more detailed. That's how you can add to the meaning of something. So adjectives add to the meaning of a noun. It helps you to understand the noun better. So then moving on, our directions say to underline each adjective. I'm going to go ahead and annotate here. It's telling us to underline the adjective, each adjective. And then it's telling us to draw a picture of the noun that it describes. So first we need to underline, that's step 1, and then we need to draw, that's step 2. Okay, so taking a look at the first one, a messy desk. We need to underline the adjective. Well, I know that the noun in this sentence is desk. The noun is desk. That's the thing that this phrase is speaking about, okay? Messy helps to describe or add meaning to the desk. That's our adjective. So then if I were to draw a picture, maybe I would draw a desk in here. It would look kind of like this. And maybe I would have papers all over it, and I would have maybe a cup of water on it. You guys go ahead and you draw whatever kind of desk you think would look messy. Okay, the next one, a tidy desk. All right, tidy in this case means clean or organized. That's what tidy means. And the next one, a broken desk. You need to underline each adjective in these two phrases, and then draw a picture of what that desk would look like in each of those instances. In part B, it said our directions tell us to underline the adjectives. The first sentence has been done for us. Okay, so take a look. Sometimes the sentence might have more than one noun being described by more than one adjective. So take a look. The tiny lighthouse stood on the rocky island. Our nouns here are lighthouse and island. The word tiny is our adjective that describes our lighthouse, and it helps to make it more clear. Rocky helps to describe or define our island. That's our adjective for island. So these are our two adjectives in our sentence: tiny, lighthouse, and rocky, island. Number 2, the bright light warned weary sailors of danger. So the first thing I might want to do is try to find my nouns in the sentence, the people, places, or things that the sentence has in it. The bright light warned weary sailors of danger. Okay, the first noun I see is light. Do I have an adjective describing light? I do. Bright describes the kind of light it is. Warned is my verb. Weary sailors. Oh, sailors I know is a noun because it's people. Okay, so do I have anything that's describing sailors? Weary describes sailors. Weary is my adjective that helps to describe sailors. Make it more clear. And danger. Danger is a noun. It's a thing. But I don't have anything describing the word danger. So I don't need to underline anything for this noun. There are no adjectives describing the noun danger in this one. Okay. One dark night, a fierce storm arose offshore. Okay, my first noun is night. Yes, dark describes the word night. It was a dark night. A fierce storm arose offshore. Here's our next noun, storm. Fierce describes storm. That's our adjective for this one. Arose offshore. Nope, there are no other adjectives here. Arose is our verb. Offshore is another noun, but there is nothing describing the word offshore. Okay, continue down to do 4 through 9. In part C, we are told to underline the adjectives in the paragraph. Then circle the noun or the pronoun each adjective describes. Perfect. Biloxi, Mississippi is a delightful resort town. Okay, first we need to underline the adjectives in the paragraph. That's step 1. Delightful resort town. Oh, delightful. That is an adjective. Oh, resort. That's an adjective. Delightful describes the word town. And resort, in this instance, is also describing the word town. It tells what type of town it is. A resort town is sort of like a vacation town. So instead of saying just a normal town, it's describing it more and being more specific by demonstrating that it's actually a resort town. It's a vacation town. It is beautiful and charming. Okay, it is beautiful and charming. I need to underline the adjectives. Okay, so it is what is being described in this sentence. And it, I know, is being described as beautiful, and it's being described as charming. Our adjectives for it in this instance are beautiful and charming. Continue down through the rest of these sentences. In part D, it says to rewrite each sentence. Add one or more adjectives to describe each noun. The first sentence has been done for you. So I know that I'm going to be rewriting the sentences. Then I know I'm going to be adding one or more adjectives to describe each noun. So the first one was done to give us an example. The town held a celebration. That's a simple sentence. It works. But we're going to upgrade it. We're going to make it better and more descriptive by adding adjectives to our nouns here. What kind of town do we have? What kind of celebration did we have? The quaint, which means tiny, cozy, seaside town held a noisy fireworks celebration. Okay, so in this case, we talked about how it was quaint, it was tiny and cozy. That town is by the sea. It's a seaside town. So that's another adjective describing the word town. Now, what kind of celebration do we have? Well, we have a noisy one that also has fireworks. Noisy fireworks celebration. Those two adjectives help describe the word celebration. Okay, number 2, the boy entered the room. Let's think here. The boy entered the room. What kind of boy are we going to be talking about here? Maybe our boy is going to be excited and happy, or excited and friendly. The friendly, excited boy entered the, okay, we've got our verb. Now we have our next noun. And with every noun, we need to add one or more adjectives to describe each noun. So yes, I did add adjectives to boy, but we do have another noun in here, room. Okay, just like we had 2 nouns in the first sentence, we also have 2 nouns in this one. We had to add at least one adjective to describe each one of these nouns. We've got 2 nouns here. We already added 2 adjectives to the word boy. Now let's add some adjectives to describe what our room is. Entered the friendly, excited boy entered the, how about busy, noisy classroom. Okay, now I know that it's not just a room, but it's a classroom. I even upgraded the word itself. We're entering a busy and noisy room too. Okay? Take a look at the differences between these 2 sentences. The friendly, excited boy entered the busy, noisy classroom. Notice how this sentence here paints a much more specific picture than this one. The boy entered the room. This one is not as interesting, and it doesn't make us want to read any further on, really. Adjectives can really upgrade your writing to make it more interesting. Okay, so that's all you're doing in part D. So you need to find your nouns and then add 1 to 2 adjectives to upgrade those nouns. Okay, in part E, you're going to choose 2 sentences from part D, rewrite each one using a different adjective to create a completely different picture. So notice here, I'm going to pick number 2. The boy entered the room. Instead of my boy being friendly and excited, I'm going to paint a completely different picture here. This picture that I painted in this one, it was exciting. It was happy. It was uplifting, upbeat. I'm going to paint the completely opposite picture here now. Instead of my boy being friendly and excited, I'm going to talk about a boy who maybe is tired and sad. The tired, sad boy. And now let's talk about the room that he's entering. Entered the, okay. And now instead of the room being busy and noisy, maybe I want to call it dark. Entered the dark, gloomy room. The tired, sad boy entered the dark, gloomy room. Notice how these adjectives help paint a completely different picture than these adjectives do. Okay? These adjectives make me feel sad, lonely, gloomy. Okay? They have a really dark image in my mind. These are much more exciting, much more uplifting and upbeat. Okay? Notice that they're both changing the same sentence. The boy entered the room. Even though they both came from that same sentence, the adjectives that we use to describe them can change our sentence entirely. You're just going to choose one more of these sentences and change it entirely by you choosing completely different adjectives for the next one. And that's all you're doing in this one.